All right, ready to dive deep. Today, we're exploring spiritual development. And get this, our guide is this YouTube video.
Oh, cool.
It's called El Sendero de la Iniciación Parte 6
Okay.
from the channel Más allá del Pensamiento.
I've seen that channel.
Yeah, roughly, it translates to Beyond Thought.
Nice.
And it's all about, those deeper levels of well-being.
Right.
And trust me, this video really goes there.
Okay, cool.
Like, what does it even mean to be a disciple on this path to, a more awakened way of being?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what does that even look like?
I know, right?
Yeah.
So this video, it's almost like a roadmap.
Wow.
It lays out these stages you go through. And what I found fascinating was this whole tension between ego and soul.
Yeah, that's so real.
It's like we all deal with that, right?
Absolutely.
Like that feeling when you're trying to make a change, but there's this part of you that just wants to stay stuck.
Yeah.
Those old habits, those old patterns.
Totally.
And the video is saying that's the ego resisting.
Oh, for sure.
And it uses this really powerful analogy with a seed.
Wow.
It says, think of the soul's light like this seed,
Right.
full of potential, but it's dormant.
Oh, I see.
And the ego, that's like this hard shell around it, preventing it from sprouting.
Wow, okay.
So it's only when the ego starts to surrender, to loosen its grip,
Right.
that the seed can finally break free and grow.
That makes sense.
So then the question is, what does that surrender actually look like?
Right, exactly.
Like, do we have to completely erase our personality?
That's a good question.
Because that doesn't sound very fun.
No, not at all.
So what is it then?
Well, it's more about recognizing that the ego, while it's part of us, it's not the whole picture. It's not the only thing. And so it's about shifting from that me first mentality to being aligned with something bigger.
Which the video calls the soul.
Exactly.
And it says, when that shift happens, you start experiencing life differently, almost like magically.
Yeah.
Colors are more vibrant, right?
Nature feels more alive. Even just everyday moments have more meaning.
Totally.
Have you ever felt that?
Oh, absolutely.
That kind of shift.
Yeah, it's like you're seeing the world with new eyes.
Right.
Totally.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
The video doesn't sugarcoat things.
Oh, good.
It's very clear that this initial awakening, that's just the first step.
I see.
The real challenges are still coming.
Uh-oh.
So what are those challenges?
Right.
Is it like this epic battle between good and evil?
It can feel that way sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, the video talks about this constant back and forth
Okay.
between the ego and the soul. Even when you think you've made progress,
Yeah.
the ego tries to pull you back.
Oh, I hate that.
It clings to those old patterns and desires.
Ugh. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
It's not about getting rid of the ego altogether, though.
Oh, okay.
It's learning to navigate its pull, but with more awareness.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's giving us some relatable examples.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like instead of quiet reflection, you go out with friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you have that extra piece of cake. Even when you know you shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's those everyday choices where we really see the struggle play out.
Right.
And what I found interesting is the video emphasizes that this back and forth is actually crucial.
Oh, wow.
It's like through those challenges,
Right.
we're building our, spiritual muscles.
I like that analogy.
So then how do we know if we're making progress?
Good question.
If this struggle is part of the process, is there ever a point where we reach, inner peace?
Right.
Like, is that even a thing?
That's a great question. And the video actually addresses it.
Oh, cool.
It introduces this concept of the accepted disciple.
Okay.
Someone who's moves beyond that constant battle to a place of deeper alignment.
With their soul.
Exactly.
Okay, so what does that look like? Does that even make sense? Like, can we even reach that level of inner harmony?
Well, that's what we're going to explore next.
Okay.
The video suggests that becoming an accepted disciple, it leads to some pretty profound inner transformation.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about that.
And it changes how you experience the world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about this accepted disciple, someone who's not just, dabbling, but really embracing this different way of being.
Yeah.
What does that transformation actually look like?
Well, it's not like you suddenly become a saint or anything.
Okay, good.
The video paints this picture of someone who's, made peace with that inner struggle. And they've learned to act from the soul.
From the soul?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
It's like instead of always reacting from that ego place, the accepted disciple is tapping into this, like, deeper wisdom.
Okay.
A knowing that goes beyond those surface level wants and needs.
You know, it's funny you should say that, because the video specifically mentions that even like mundane activities,
Yeah,
they take on new meaning for the accepted disciple.
exactly.
Like everything has this purpose.
Right.
It's not about denying yourself enjoyment or anything.
No, not at all.
It's about experiencing life with this deeper awareness.
And connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is where things get really interesting,
Okay.
because it talks about this expansion of consciousness.
That's a big one.
What do you think that means?
It's like your world just gets bigger.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Whoa.
It's not just about you anymore.
Right.
It's about recognizing how everything's interconnected.
So you start seeing the patterns,
Exactly.
the synchronicities.
Yeah, all of it.
Like you're tuning into this frequency you couldn't access before.
That's a great way to put it.
And it even hints that this brings this deep peace.
Oh, yeah.
And even like an ancient wisdom.
Right. And that's where this idea of the soul's ancient memory comes in. It's almost like as you shed those layers of ego, you're tapping into this wellspring of knowledge
Wow.
that's been there all along.
You know, it makes me think about those moments where you have this sudden clarity or insight, like a flash of knowing.
Right.
That seems to come from somewhere else.
Totally.
Maybe that's what it's talking about.
It could be, yeah.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
This stage of the accepted disciple with its expanded consciousness and all that,
Right.
that's just the beginning.
Really?
The video hints at this whole other level.
Oh, wow.
It calls it the Sendero de la Iniciación,
Okay.
the path of initiation.
The path of initiation.
Sounds kind of mysterious.
A little bit daunting, too.
Yeah.
What does it even mean?
What clues does it give us?
Well, it doesn't get too specific, but it definitely piques your interest.
Okay.
It suggests that this path leads to an even deeper understanding.
Of ourselves.
Yeah.
And our place in the universe. It's like we've climbed this mountain,
Okay.
reached this amazing view,
Yeah.
and suddenly we see this whole mountain range ahead of us.
Well, I love that.
But even though we've come so far,
Right.
this new path still has its challenges.
Of course it wouldn't be fun without them.
So even the accepted disciple still has work to do.
Oh, absolutely.
I guess spiritual growth never really ends.
No, it's a journey.
Not a destination.
Exactly.
The ego doesn't just vanish overnight.
No, it can be sneaky.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still there lurking
Waiting to pounce.
when we least expect it.
Exactly.
It's like those stories of spiritual masters who
Yeah.
still face temptations.
Right.
Maybe it's a reminder that we're all human.
Yeah, we're all learning and growing.
Always.
And you know what's important here?
What's that?
The video really emphasizes this.
Okay.
The importance of having a guide.
Oh, a teacher.
Yeah, someone who's walked this path before.
I like that.
Someone to offer support and wisdom.
It's like that wise mentor archetype.
Exactly. We see it everywhere.
But it's not about blindly following, right?
No, not at all.
It's about finding someone who resonates with you.
Yes.
Someone who can help you unlock your own wisdom.
Exactly.
And that's what's so fascinating about this whole path of initiation thing. It's not just personal growth.
Right.
It's tapping into something much greater.
This lineage of wisdom.
Yeah, stretching back through time.
It's pretty amazing. It's like we're all part of this big story.
Hmm.
And the path of initiation.
Yeah,
It's about finding our role in that story.
I like that.
And maybe that's what this expansion of consciousness really is. Realizing we're not just isolated individuals,
Right.
but threads in this vast tapestry.
That's beautiful.
It brings us to this question that the video leaves us with.
Okay.
Something for us all to ponder
I'm intrigued.
as we continue on our own journeys.
Let's hear it.
So we're left with this big question.
Yeah, the $1,000,000 question.
What does it mean to actually live from the soul?
Like, that's a beautiful idea.
It is.
But how do we actually do that
Yeah.
in our messy everyday lives?
Exactly.
I mean, the video doesn't give us, like, a clear-cut answer.
Nope, no magic formula.
Which I guess is part of the point, right?
Right.
It's like it's giving us the map, but we got to figure out our own path.
Exactly. We have to discover our own way through the terrain.
Okay, so no shortcuts then.
Not really, but we do get some clues.
Okay.
The video talks about aligning our actions, our thoughts, even our intentions
Okay.
with our deepest truths.
So those core values that just feel right.
Exactly. The things that resonate deep down.
So it's not about following rules or being perfect.
No, not at all.
It's about listening to our own inner compass.
Precisely.
And it's not just the big decisions, right?
No, it's about bringing that awareness to every moment.
Every choice.
Every single one.
So even like what I have for breakfast,
Exactly.
that can be an act of living from the soul.
Absolutely. Think about it.
Oh.
If you're choosing foods that nourish you, that make you feel good.
Okay.
Not just because you're craving something.
Right, or trying to like numb out.
Exactly. You're acting from a place of self-care.
Honoring your body.
Yeah. As a vessel for the soul.
You know, it's funny when you put it that way.
Yeah.
It makes those everyday choices feel so much more meaningful.
I know, right?
It's all about perspective.
It really is.
And as we make those choices more consistently, that's when we start to see those transformations.
Right. The expansion of consciousness.
The deep peace.
The interconnectedness.
Like things start falling into place.
Yeah. It's not always easy or predictable.
Right.
But it feels right.
Aligned.
Authentic.
And who knows, maybe as we keep going, we'll find our own sendero de la iniciación.
Our own path.
Our unique path of initiation.
Leading us deeper.
To even deeper levels of understanding and growth.
Wow, that's exciting.
I'm definitely feeling inspired.
Me too.
To keep exploring. So we've covered a lot today.
Way, yeah.
From that struggle between ego and soul to this whole idea of living from the soul.
Yeah, it's all thanks to that video.
That YouTube video that sparked our deep dive.
It really made us think.
It just goes to show you can find wisdom anywhere. Yeah. So keep your eyes open for those sparks of inspiration.
The things that make you want to dive deeper.
Because the journey doesn't end here.
It's just the beginning.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the disciples' journey.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time.
Yeah, see you then.
May your path be filled with meaning, purpose,
and soul.
And a whole lot of soul.